One of our beloved members of the NESN community and the New England community at large is involved in an exciting new venture, and we have the man himself here with us, Tom Caron, to talk about his involvement joining the USL to Portland ownership group that's going to bring pro soccer to Portland, Maine. TC, thanks so much for joining us. And how did this partnership come to be?
Thanks, Meredith. Gabe Hoffman-Johnson is the guy putting the group together up in Portland, and I met him at the Tradition, the NESN event at the Garden about 3 years ago, and we just got talking about our shared love of soccer, and come to find out he was putting together an effort to bring a USL League One expansion franchise to Portland, Maine. We've talked a lot and had some dinners and just thrown around a lot of ideas about how much we love the game of soccer. And as things get closer, still about a year and a half away, hopefully, from playing, and the idea came up, listen, do you want to be part of the ownership group? Because I know you're busy at NESN, but we'd love to have your thoughts along the way. And it just all came together. And with the World Cup, and they're closing in on an agreement with the city of Portland, everything seems to be coming together. And so I jumped in hoping we could keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. And what's the USL for those who may not know at home?
So think of the sort of pyramid of U.S. soccer. MLS is the major leagues, right? The New England Revolution. And we know how great that league has become. USL then is under MLS, below them in the hierarchy. USL Championship is the next level. That's the second level of pro soccer in the U.S. And this would be U.S. League One. So it's the third level. Kind of double A, if you want to call it that, like the Sea Dogs up in Portland. The Maine Mariners are an East Coast Hockey League team, the franchise affiliated with the Boston Bruins. The Maine Celtics are up there. But it's essentially double A, although you don't have an agreement with an MLS team. You're an independent team, signing your own players, getting your own players, and competing at that level.
And what does this mean for the soccer community in Maine? I know you've been very involved with all things Maine. So what are you expecting this to bring to that great state?
Yeah, well, what I love about it, and the reason I'm getting involved is I think soccer, almost more than any other sport, has the unique ability to bring together different cultures, different communities, different people. I'm from Lewiston, Maine, played soccer there as a kid, and have always been involved in the sport in the city. And in 2015, they won their first ever state championship, and it was a team that was almost completely filled on the roster with Somali and African immigrants who had migrated to Maine and Lewiston specifically in search of a better life. And that high school team, amazingly, really brought the city together. There had been some tension in the city about different groups and the social structure of the town. And this high school soccer team wins a state championship for the biggest crowd to ever see a soccer game in the state of Maine. And all of a sudden, the entire city comes together around these kids. It was a great example of how soccer can bring different communities together. And that's what we want to do in Portland, really use it to let everyone know that soccer is a safe place, a meeting place where everybody can come together. And the hope is that it'll galvanize that togetherness in the community even more.
Absolutely. And you talk about bringing people together. When can fans come and watch games in Portland, and where will these games be played?
That's the big question, and smarter people than I are involved in that. The city and the team are working on an agreement. No official word yet on where that stadium will be or where they will play, but that's coming in the hopefully not too distant future. And the goal is to get this in place and to have the team playing in 2024. So about a year and a half away, where hopefully we have opening day in the spring of 2024. It'll be right between the World Cups. The next World Cup is coming to the U.S. So I think there'll just be soccer mania going across Maine and New England and the country. So the timing might be great.
All right. And lastly, TC, you've been covering sports for more than 30 years. What's it like being on the other side of things, on the ownership side of things now?
I don't know. It's only been a day. It's a great question. I've been doing this a long time, like you said. And it's hard to imagine. A blue collar kid from Lewiston, Maine would never have imagined there come a day. But, when I was young, so, you always play the game, right? What would you do if you won the Powerball? What would you do if you won the lottery? And I would always answer. I'd buy a minor league team and move to Portland, Maine, and see if the team could take off there. So this is a much smaller part. I'm not leaving NESN. I'm not moving back to Maine, but at least I'll be involved in the excitement and the energy and get involved in some of the idea making and process that goes together to bring this team to life. So I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. And I should be able to get good seats. So that'll be the good part, right?
For sure. Well, it sounds like you manifested this one for yourself in your younger years, but congratulations again, and thanks so much for your time.
Thanks. We'll see you on opening day, Meredith.